Welcome back, my nieces and nephews, to another episode of Fun Uncle. And in today's episode, the Beijing Winter Olympics are kick-punching their way into our hearts and minds, and China is trying to roll out its own digital yuan on the back of it. If this sounds good to you, stay tuned for the rest of this episode. But first, we got a diggity-riggity deep dive into today's theme, which is China's digital yuan. That's right, China's trying to roll out their own digital cryptocurrency, and I'm going to deep dive into it uncle style by first reminding everybody that China has fully banned Bitcoin. All cryptocurrencies within China, you cannot use them. Well, you gotta ask yourself, why is this happening? Why is cryptocurrency clampdown happening in China? Well, it boils down to China's government has viewed cryptocurrencies as a hindrance to its control over capital flows within the country for a while. And so they're basically saying, like, we want to have more control over our citizens, is essentially what they're saying. We want to have a watchful eye over where money is going and who's able to exchange it. They want to have control over who can exchange currency and who cannot, which cryptocurrency as a decentralized organization allows everyone to use it with freedom of choice. It doesn't matter what your social credit score is, you can use Bitcoin. Whereas China wants to have a currency that they can turn on and off depending on how well you have played with their system. And they're not the only ones who have banned cryptocurrencies. There are 50 other countries who have placed bans on digital currencies. We have a whole mess of countries: Algeria, Bangladesh, Iraq, Morocco, Nepal, Qatar, Tunisia. Just 50 countries have banned Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency. You gotta ask yourself, why? Why are they joining China in this massive ban of cryptocurrencies? Well, here it is. It is called the New Silk Road. They're actually calling it the One Belt, One Road Initiative, and it's going to cost them anywhere between $4 and $8 trillion, and it's going to affect 65 different countries. So here it is. This is their plan. They want to have trading partners across all of Asia, the Middle East, Eastern Europe, parts of Africa, and the currency of choice that will be, delivering commerce to these countries will be the digital yuan. They want to push out all cryptocurrencies. If you want to do any trade with China, it's going to be with our digital yuan, and it looks like they're going to have a stronghold on pretty much this side of the planet in their plan to become the number one superpower in the world. And I'll be diggity darned if this doesn't do it right here. This is a massive powerhouse that will push America into the number 2 spot, and China will be laughing all the way to the digital yuan bank when they finally roll out this new Silk Road here. And this is absolutely insane. This is the biggest project the human species has done, period. This is $8 trillion over 65 countries just so China can have more efficient trade than the United States of America. And they're doing it. And if they're going to actually successfully roll out the digital yuan to be a part of this, then they are going to double tomahawk, slam dunk their way into the number 1 spot. And then this brings us all the way to the theme of today's episode, the Olympics. They're rolling out the digital yuan at the 2022 Beijing Olympics. That's happening right now. The winter sports, skiing, luging, hockey, you name it, all on the ice, and Bitcoin is on the ice as well as they're rolling out this digital yuan. I came up with that right off the top of my head. So Bitcoin's on ice now in the Winter Olympics. And China is rolling out their digital yuan. They are forcing all of the vendors around the Olympics to utilize this currency and no other currency in their attempt to just get mass adoption, not only within their own country, but every other visiting country that comes into Beijing. You want to buy a cheeseburger, or you want to ride the transit here in China? Well, you're going to have to use this new fancy little thing we're calling the digital yuan. And what is it? They now have 260 million individual users. That's one hell of a rollout, Although with a country that has almost 2 billion people in it, you would hope that they would have higher numbers than this. I think this is kind of low. And this really boils down to people who are interacting with the Beijing Olympics. Is probably about 300 million people. So the hope is for us cryptocurrency enthusiasts that this is the top. that they have their fun little rollout, they have their time in the sun during the Winter Olympics, but everyone at the end of the day realizes that, like, wow, this is kind of just, we're giving more control to China by letting them, control our money and have a watchful eye on all of our money. And this really isn't the decentralized, kumbaya moment that cryptocurrencies were envisioning. And the U.S. are thinking the same thing. U.S. lawmakers issue a warning about digital yuan as the Winter Olympics kick off because they're fearful that this is an attack on the American commerce system. And it is. China's not going to say it, but let's go back to the map. They have a big plan that involves most of the world, and the U.S. is completely cut out of it. And this is going to bring a lot of money into China's doors, and China wants to have complete control over it. If they tried to use Bitcoin or Ethereum to manage these transactions, then they wouldn't be able to turn it on and off if you were not playing nice with China. And so they're hoping that they will strong arm America into having to use the digital yuan to transact with China. If they have 65 other countries using it seamlessly, then America might have no other choice than to use a little bit of the digital yuan to speed up their transactions with China. But this is kind of a let's wait and see what happens kind of thing. They haven't really proven themselves yet. The digital yuan is not fully rolled out. It hasn't reached mass adoption yet. And we haven't really learned what's working and what's not working. The hope is, my hope as a Bitcoin cryptocurrency enthusiast, is that they fall flat on their face, that they have the same problems that happened with the digital yuan. Or not the digital yuan, with Facebook's Libra coin, like how Facebook was a force to be reckoned with. They were too big to fail. They had billions of dollars to throw at the project, and they couldn't get mass adoption. Even though they had billions and billions of dollars to throw at a problem, they could not get individual users around the world to buy into it. And so here's the hope with the digital yuan right now is, here's hoping that they can't convince the majority of the population to buy into something like this, because it's just going to give China more control over our lives. And that's why Bitcoin gained so much adoption, is that it was this decentralized kind of for the people. Let's try to subtract ourselves from this tyranny we've faced, from the modern day monetary system and these billionaire elites who control everything about our lives. Like, we're giving too much control to the government, and that's the libertarian dream of Bitcoin, is to break free from that. It doesn't matter if you are a criminal, or if you don't have a lot of social credit points, or if you're on China's shit list or whatever. Like, you still can use Bitcoin as long as you have a cell phone in any country with internet. You can use Bitcoin. But with the digital yuan, they're going to put significant more restrictions on when, where, how, and why you can use their coin, which is not savory, especially given China's track record. Let's not forget how they have internment camps right now, like literal slave labor camps a la Nazi Germany, taking place in China right now with people they do not like. They put in camps. And so I think that China just has such a bad track record that maybe this won't play out the way they hope. So at the end of it all, what should we be thinking? Well, there's two things happening. One, this is kind of good news for Bitcoin in that, it's such a force to be reckoned with that China and many other countries feel the need to publicly ban it, because that's how powerful of an entity Bitcoin has become, that these massive countries feel fear in their hearts about what Bitcoin could do to usurp their power, that they need to make some kind of public stance about it, which I think is good news, right? And then the other piece of good news is that they see the power of the blockchain. They're seeing what can be done with this technology, and they're thinking to themselves, wow, this really is a better mousetrap. They have improved on the design, and we should try to do the same thing, try to distance ourselves from the old cash way of doing things, the old monetary system, and start to adopt this new digital era of blockchain technology that will pave the way for Web3 and the future of more efficient transactions. So that's two good things that are happening right now for Bitcoin, is that massive countries like China have realized that, oh, wow, this actually is really good technology. We should start doing the same thing. And they're so afraid of it that they need to publicly ban it from their countries, because if they didn't, it would become more powerful than they could ever deal with. They're trying to stop it before it becomes too powerful. So these are two really good things that are happening. Then on the other end of the spectrum is the bad news that, like, China might win. China and the new digital yuan might be the new normal, especially for the 65 countries playing nice in this new One Belt, One Road initiative that's taking place. And again, it's just one of those, like, they have the money, they have $8 trillion to dump into this project. And here's hoping that their aspirations are too large, that they are dreaming too big, and there are too many points of failure, and they're trying to roll out more than they should at one time, and it's going to cause them to fall flat on their face, and they're going to come back, just crawling back into Bitcoin's arms, because while they, fumbled this hot potato, Bitcoin continued to power forward to become the unstoppable force to be reckoned with. That is undeniable. That's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and China will have no other choice but to use Bitcoin and or Ethereum in its new Belt and Road initiative. I think they're trying to do too much. I think they're flying a little too close to the sun. I think they have such a bad track record that they will not get the mass adoption that they want. And the digital yuan hopefully will just be a figment of our imagination, something we laugh about in the near future. But in the short term, it's something we got to keep a watchful eye on, because China is making some serious moves.
The Fun Uncle League Loungers are 200 unique tropical-themed NFTs that are packed full of unlockable content. Access to exclusive events, airdrops of free NFTs, and a digital download of my first book, Fun Uncle: Common Sense for the Greater Good. But I know why you're all really here. You want to hear about the $500 in Ethereum prizes I'm making available to my true die-hard fans. And all you gotta do is follow the links within the unlockable content, and you'll find a series of riddles. First one to solve any one of these riddles and email me the answer, you're going to win the prize. I'm making 5 of these prizes available between now and NFT Las Vegas, March 22nd through the 25th. Now, if money is tight, don't worry, because I'll be giving away free NFTs on my Twitter page throughout the contest dates that are also available for prizes. What's more is all of you who continue to hold my NFTs will have an opportunity to win a free airdrop of my next batch of NFTs in the second quarter of this year. If this project is a success, I will continue to grow the prize pool as we go. Hop on over to OpenSea today, and I look forward to seeing you all at NFT Las Vegas this March.